Another squid down. Nice. Number 4 of the night. Haven't even had the camera on. Haven't been catching them. Not a bad squid, that. Haven't been down here long. I've already got 4. Beautiful. Hopefully it continues. Another squid on. I believe it's a squid. There we go, another one. There we go. Another one on. Yeah, another one.
How many you got now?
5, I think.
5?
Yeah. So there you go. Number 5 of the night. I came down yesterday and only had 2 in 5 hours. Today I've been down here half an hour and I've got 5. Hopefully, with the tide coming up for the next 3 hours, we have a good little trip. Look at the eyeball on that thing. They're not big squid. These are perfect eating size though. That's exactly what you want. Setup I'm using tonight, just got a big squid jig on the bottom, just with a couple of weights to sink the jig, 'cause it's quite deep off the lighthouse here. And I've got a little mini jig at the top just as a teaser. And often when there's a lot of squid around, you'll catch 2 at a time. That's why I like to use these. Also, it's a bit of extra attraction, 'cause you'll find when you catch one squid, the other ones will follow it in, chasing it in. They are cannibalistic. So having 2 jigs just gives you a shot at that another one. We're in again. I'm hoping this is a squid. Is it? Yeah, another squid, baby. Come on. Yeah, nice. For this early on in the season, this is brilliant. Look at that, that was lucky. No one that in the face will know about it. That was on the little teaser jig at the top. Beauty. I love that I'm getting this stamp of squid. They're not big. Like, these squid grow massive. But this sort of size is perfect eating size. Beautiful squid. Look at that. Angry red. But so pretty. Super pretty. Back in the cooler, baby. I'm over the moon with that. That's number 6 of the night. We're doing extremely well. I thought I'd mention how you dispatch them, guys. I don't do this on camera because of YouTube, but just a judo chop to the head, just in between the mantle and the head there, that would dispatch them, and they'll go white like the others. What a lovely creature. They've got 2 long tentacles here. You see these ones? This is what shoots out after their prey, and they draw it into these smaller tentacles to the beak in the middle of here. Such a unique creature. But great sport, absolutely brilliant sport. As you can see here, I've got my little beam light and I shine it into the water because it creates a silhouette for the squid to come up in the water column and see them. And as you can see, I'm just sort of pulsing the rod up and down, and I'll stop for a minute and slowly start reeling. And then you'll know if you got one on, because you'll feel a pulsating feeling like this, where cuttlefish you'll get a couple of pulsations, but then they'll be just sort of dead weight all the way up. Cuttlefish are a hell of a lot harder to flip out the water as well. Come on, there's definitely a few squid around. Hopefully we have a good night of it. I feel like I got a better one on here. Hopefully he stays on. Come on. Feels alright, this squid. Come on. That's a little bit better. Yeah. Nice little squid, that one. Hey. Number 7 of the night. We are absolutely nailing them. Look at that. That's slightly bigger than the ones we've got already. Look at that for a beautiful creature though. The way they change colour. They got beautiful greens on the top of their eyes. Always fascinate me, squid and cuttlefish. These are called the mantles. This is what they swim through the water with. They've also got jet propulsion where they squirt out the water. Such a cool creature. Number 7, I believe. You absolute diamond. That's what they look like when they've been judo chopped, guys. Perfectly put out of his misery, and we're on the fish. Nice. Number 7, number 8 of the night, I think that one is. Number 8 squid, beautiful. Been a little slap period for a while. We're back into them. I've dropped a couple as well. It's number 8. I've come to a completely different mark now, guys. It went a bit dead on the other mark, so I've come to a spot that's really deep inside the harbour of Guernsey. You can see there's a nice big boat there. And often you can get a lot of cuttlefish here, and then you get a few squid mixed in as well. So I'm just going to spend an hour here, and if this is terrible, I'm going to move off to a different spot and give that one a try. I'm on a little squid and cuttlefish mission today. Rod I'm using tonight, I'm just using my bass rod. It's just a 4,000 size reel. That's a pretty heavy spin reel for, that's a pretty heavy spin rod for what I'm doing, but it does the job. Usually I like a nice soft tip sort of rod. This one's quite stiff. It's my bassing rod for the boat, so I flip a lot of bigger bass in, so it's a heavy rod. Nice 30-gram rod, do you great for this sort of fishing. It is night number 2, guys. We're back down the lighthouse, and as you can see by the way my stuff's moving, it's blowing a hoolie. They give downpours of rain, but I don't care. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up now, find a little sheltered spot round the corner. I'm going to set up the rods. I've got 2 rods with me today. I brought a float rod just in case there is a lot more of those little squid. I'm going to put 3 jigs on that float and just let it drift around while I'm pulling some in with this, hopefully. We'll see how we get on, but I'll be happy with a few more tonight. I've stocked up on a load of jigs. Check those bad boys out. I've got a bit of everything in there. I'm going to stick with this white again because this was working very well last night. And then I'm going to put probably a prawn lure on the top, hoping for some bigger squid tonight. But if we get a few, I'll be more than happy. Just nice to get out. That was one where I cut the matting off it and just left it as a hard lure. Works a treat. Right, I'm going to go for a super vibrant pink and yellow shrimp imitation. Hopefully that does the job. That through there, we're good to go. All this is just a little standout loop on the line. You just thread it over the lure, just like that. Like I showed you on the start of the video. Got the big one at the top, a big one at the bottom, little one on the top. And this thing glows up like no tomorrow. So because it's going to be a little bit murky today because we've got rough weather, I'm going to be shining these up so they glow a bit more. Always find in murky water a bit more glow definitely helps. I have set up the float rig. I've just got 2 jigs to a little weight and a nice big float there. Those 2 I'm just going to put about 15 feet down, and then hopefully we can get some lucky squid. The tide's not moving much at the moment, so it's a perfect time to do this. I'll just flick this out, leave it on the outside while I'm spinning in with the other one. And usually when you do this, if you catch on the spin rod, more squid will follow that in, and then the float rod will go as well sometimes. Squid on, guys. On the spin rod, this one. Come on. Hopefully it stays on. Come on. That's bigger than all of the ones yesterday. Nice. I'm glad I've come out today. Look at that beauty. That's not a bad squid at all, that. I'll watch out before I get inked. Check that little kraken out. Not a monster. You can see by the size of my hands, that's a lovely one. A lot bigger than the ones yesterday we had. The squid are coming in. We're only an hour up from low water. We've still got 5 hours fishing, baby. Very nice. Let's get this out. That's very good. That's only 5th cast since I've been here. And we've got a squid on already. Let's go. Another squid on, guys. Yes. This feels well better. Definitely worth coming out in this storm. Yeah. That's a lot bigger. Yes. That was 2nd cast after the last one. Aye aye. These are a lot better stamped squid. Look at those. They're about one pound and a half each. £1.5. Lovely stamper squid. Look at those bad boys. Big old mantles. Nice. I was getting loads of little plucks on these as I was rearing it up, and I was like, is that a cuttlefish? So I just stopped the jig dead in its tracks and just waited. The next minute the rod just went straight over. Sometimes just taking it really slow is the key with these bad boys. Beautiful. Float rod's just gone, guys. Come on. Oh, come back. Yeah. Oh, he's off again. Ah, oh, on the float rod. Come back. I just snagged and snapped off on the spin rod, and I grabbed the float rod and bam, we got him. Yes, on the little mini rod. Look at him. Let's get him up. Oh, he's off. No, he's off. Wounder. That's the problem with those little tiny jigs. They don't grab them very well. Ah, oh, bugger. I was just making a new rig. I've literally got it on the floor at the moment. So yeah, I've just made a new rig up. Looked over the side of the railings and the rod was doubled over. The float was well far under the water. Hopefully there's a few more around. Number 3 of the night, baby. We had a little quiet spell for a little bit, but that's about the size we were catching yesterday. You can see compared to these ones how small it is, but still nice eating size squid. That I'd prefer to eat little squid like these than I would these big ones, but still with a steak hammer you can make them tenderized, but these you don't need to tenderize them so much. What a nice little squid that one. That came on the little orange jig. I just changed over and whammo, got one. Look at that little mini wee thing. Literally next cast. Shabam. Oh, he just inked me. Look at that. That is a beautiful little calamari, that one. Beautiful stamp. Got right an array of different sizes tonight, but that's beautiful. They seem to be coming thick and faster. Nice. We had a little dry spell, and now they're in. Let's have them. What a little beauty. Look at that one. That is a calamari squid. Look at that little beauty. Tiny little thing it is. This weather's got absolutely hideous now. It must be blowing a force 7. I'm tucked behind the lighthouse and it's pouring down with like drizzly rain. What a nightmare. That there, a nice little squid. Look at that. Perfect little eating size. Beautiful. Hopefully we can get a few more like that. I wouldn't mind making a little dish out of some small squids. There's the other ones. So what I'm going to do is just chuck him on ice and we're good to go. Eee. Changed over my jig to this big bright green thing. And I got another little calamari sized squid. Look at that. Hey, nice finger sized little chunks. Cute little things they are. Really cool. Hey, you can go back in the bucket though. Very nice. I really want a few this size because I really like eating this size of squid. Beautiful eating. And these big ones stay on ice and be sold. Beautiful. So there you go, guys. The wind's come up absolutely terrible now. It's blowing, it's absolute hoolie. We're getting big heavy downpours of rain, but I'm happy with tonight. 6 squid, 2 really nice ones, nice big busters, and we got a few smaller ones for a catch and cook. You beauty. So I'll see you in the kitchen for a nice cook up. Gonna munch some of these little bad boys. Yum! As you can see, we got our squid here. I kept a lot of the smaller ones. These are perfect little eaters. I'm gonna make some salt and pepper squid today. So I've got a few ingredients here, nothing crazy. Just a little breadcrumb just to give these a little dusting. Some salt, pepper, sriracha mayo, some peppers and onions, and a little bit of garlic. I'm going to be leaving the heads all intact. There'll be nice little crunchy morsels, those will. So all we're going to do now is all of our cut up little rings, perfect little rings, we're going to just dry them out in some breadcrumb. A little bit of black pepper. A little bit of sea salt. Nice bit of seasoned breadcrumb. Really fine breadcrumb this. Squid is actually quite sticky, so like it gets a really good coating on it. And we do, go straight into the bag with all the bits. Give it a good old shake up. Drop half it on the floor. You can see, nice little coating on those. It doesn't need to be loads, just enough to coat them nicely. And we're good to go. Got some oil in the pan there. Going to give these a shake off. And just spread them around the pan. These are going to go lovely and crispy. Nice thin bits of squid. You don't want to overcook squid. Just a nice little fry in the pan. She's good to go. But look at the coating on these. It's perfect. Just to get the edges nice and crunchy. You got that soft squid in the middle. Cooking up nicely now. See all those lovely little crispy edges on that squid. All we need now is just some black pepper and some salt. Loads of black pepper over that. Beautiful. And plenty of sea salt. And we're pretty much ready to go. There we go, guys. Beautiful salt and pepper squid. Check that out for a beautiful dish. Nice crispy edges all the way around that squid. That is perfect. All we need now, a little sriracha mayo on the side, making it look all pretty. Oh, yum. Been looking forward to squid season. Always find when the spider crabs are in, you enjoy them at the start and then you get bored of them at the end and then something new comes in. That's why I like having we've got a fishery that's always in and out. Things are constantly migrating around, so always keeps the fishing interesting. That squid is so soft. Those little ones, they are really the best. The really small ones. Oh. So delicate. It doesn't mean you can't eat the big ones, they're still tasty. But I find they take a lot of tenderizing. I've tried boiling them and all sorts and it does work. There's loads of different ways to cook squid, the big ones especially. But these little ones, you don't need to do anything, just clean them up and then a little bit of a dusting and fried in a pan. Beautiful. A little bit of lemon over the top. Last night was absolutely horrendous. It started off, I was fishing in about a force 5 to 6, then out of nowhere it came up and it must have been blowing an 8 for sure. My bike on the stand was sort of like wobbling, looking like it's going to get blown over, and that's it's quite a heavy push bike. So yeah, interesting little trip though. There's definitely a few more squid than there was last year already, and it's super early, so hopefully we can have a really good year. The squid get a lot bigger, so I'm hoping we'll get a nice run of big ones this year, but only time will tell. So stay tuned for the next episode, guys. I won't leave this any longer. I'm going to munch this bad boy. This was absolutely delicious and good fun fishing as well. So stay tuned for the next episode. Hopefully the winter fishing's a good one. It's smash fishing, baby. Woo!